Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism with Autism and Us. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment. And if you don't know what this is all about, all it is us just coming together as parents and learning, sharing, and supporting one another. It is open discussion unless our dear Linda has a topic for us this evening. How are you doing, Linda?
Hi, I'm doing good. Hey, I'm Linda, and I'm the other admin. Happy Sunday, everyone. I
Okay.
thought a good topic today to talk about is because autism is a wide spectrum to
Uh-huh.
discuss the different traits or symptoms of autism that our children have.
Okay. Okay. Good topic. Because as we all know, like what is the famous quote? If you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Let's see. Hey, Teresa. Mr. Charles, I put the link in there for you. Hello, Verna. Pammy. Good. Glad you're doing good, Verna. Hey, Dinah.
Hey, Dinah.
Okay. So, wait a minute. I just put on top the TikTok also. Hey, Sonia. We're going to wait for Mr. Charles. Let Mr. Charles get up in here.
Uh, Hi, Anita and Linda. How are y'all doing?
Hey, Charles. You're doing good.
Good, good. Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for having this. I'm the father of a 13-year-old son who lives with autism. We live in Oakland, California.
Hi,
All right.
Chris.
Well, welcome, Chris. Well, tonight, Linda's brought up the topic of the different traits our loved ones have. That's on the spectrum. You want to start it off, Linda?
Okay, sorry. um, I'm eating a peach.
Oh,
Yeah,
sounds good.
Sounds peachy.
it is. Um, I was thinking, so some of ours have like eating problems. So like during the years we've had higher anxiety with Emily than other times. We've
I
had
got you.
yeah, that's a common one and I've seen um Emily's, like I said, some years were really bad and some years it seemed like it was non-existent.
Mhm.
She has the eating sensitivity, the food sensitivity, the rigidness as far as everything always being the same as a schedule, same routine. That's probably the biggest thing right now.
Okay.
I remember what you're saying. I remember my mom. What she remembered in her last years from my teenage years was I was always uptight. I was very uptight.
Uh,
Similar to what you're describing with Emily.
and how have you become in your adult years?
Well, I've gradually been able to loosen up. It's been a gradual process, I have to say.
Okay. Yeah. I can agree with that. And anxiety and um, with DeAndre, he's the older he gets, the it just seems like that activity, that energetic activity, is is getting worse. I'm getting more furniture torn up, um, and it's not so much as him being mad and aggressive. It's just all that energy. He has to constantly jump on things, or he has
Yeah,
to constantly jump.
yeah,
And
breaking things out of energy, not out of anger.
right, right, right. So I just got a chair. I just cried about that because I just got that furniture like less than 2 years ago. So I have a coffee table now that I said I'm gonna try to save it. A little decorating, around the holes everywhere. But I sat down today and it was like it's so frustrating. Um, with when those types of things happen. But that's part of his autism, his autism and that ADHD. Um, he has a lot of the anxiety, the nervousness still happens when he gets around a lot of people. He likes to stick up under me, and that stimming. Does Emily stim a lot when she goes through an anxiety attack or
Yeah, she does the rocking and squinting her eyes and kind of looking out of the corner of her eyes. And she does
mm,
that a lot in the car, or like if we're somewhere in public, she'll do that. So I think that that's with anxiety. She does it when she watches TV too. So like she's watching a movie or something. Um,
mm,
and then I would say when she's totally relaxed, she's not really doing that. So yeah, her stimming of doing that must be from the anxiety as well.
okay. Yeah, because I notice when he gets a little nervous or around a lot of people, that stimming he just gets to going, just gets to going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Charles, oh,
oh,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was wondering probably the same thing that you're wondering. Did Charles, did you feel like that was out of fear?
In some cases, yes, it was just anxiety about not knowing what I was supposed to do in a lot of situations, and so that made me very uptight. But um, I think that was a large factor, or not knowing what to expect next.
Okay.
That's neat to hear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, Chris says that's the main issue, obsession with food that I'm having with my son. For the most part, food is the only thing that he focuses on. Oh, obsession with food. Okay.
Yeah.
So does he have? So Chris, what do you do in those instances to help, calm that obsession? And is it a particular food that he's obsessed with?
And
Now,
is he? Oh
oh,
God,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Is he obsessed? Where he's still eating a normal amount, or is he obsessed with food where he's constantly eating?
Hey, Kiyomi,
Or I
get
guess
this and put it in
obsessed
there.
with specific foods?
Take that in there. My grandkids are here. I just can't get rid of nobody all day.
Yeah, well, enjoy your grandkids. That's important.
I had Nando's yesterday, and then here comes Jasmine, and I'm like, can I just get the whole weekend to myself?
It looked like you couldn't tell if Nita was crying or laughing.
Hi, Sharon.
Oops, sorry.
Hi, Danielle.
Hey Danielle. Hey Sharon,
Hey,
how
Danielle
you
and
doing?
Sharon.
I have to say, well, last week when I visited my daughter, got to see my grandson for a couple of days there. We had
That's
dinner
beautiful.
the first or the second night there, actually, not the night that she picked me at the train station, but the next night he and his wife were there, and then they were there the next day, and we did lunch, and they had to for
Take that in there.
a thing in New York they had to get to.
Okay, okay. Well, you had a nice time with the grand. That's beautiful.
And a nice time with my daughter.
Dinah says, plus for DeAndre and older kids, they are bigger, taller, and some muscular. So when they were younger, jumping on the couch, you can bounce now. He probably goes, yes, yes, Dinah. Oh my God. I had to buy a trampoline for this kind of activity. Now we had a trampoline, but because of insurance purposes, I took it down because I'm on a corner. So you would have to. There's a lot of stipulations of privacy fence, which I have in the works of getting one now. I just got a new fence up, but I may have to put it back up once I get the privacy thing going on.
Yeah, it's
But
sort of
yeah,
like,
she definitely needs that now.
yeah, because it's like having a pool. You know, the same thing.
Yeah.
You've got liability
Yep.
concerns.
Yep. Yep. They
Yeah,
make sure you
if
get
kids
rid of
get on
that
your
or
property,
else.
yeah, kids get on your property and then they
Yeah.
drown.
And
Doesn't
that
matter
was
if
another
they're
thing I was
trespassing; they're
worried
still
about.
liable.
Hmm. Okay, so Dinah says for her boys, it's anxiety, obsessions, and need for routine. Okay. And you mentioned routine, and another thing with DeAndre is transitioning. It's kind of hard for him. Like I don't know if you guys remember, because last year he was at dad's going to school, and he transitioned to mom's going to school. So he had that thing where it was dad's house. Now it's mom's house. Mom's house. So if he goes over his dad's, and if he stays too long, he's like, wait a minute, uh, we're here a little bit too long. I'm ready to go back where I came from. So yeah, it's that transitioning, and still with the school. Come here, DeAndre. Let me see if he'll do it now. You want to go to Drew's school?
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to now. It was Central. Say hi to
Hi,
everybody.
Andre.
Everybody sit down sure.
Oh, nice saying it. Central High
Hi,
School.
DeAndre.
Say hi, Miss Linda.
I'm at Taro.
Hi,
Hi.
Andre.
Okay, you can go.
I'm at Taro.
No, I'm gonna take my phone. Okay, where are we at?
Oh wow.
He's oh, go back, go back. There it is. No, the food. There we go. So chocolate, cake, pasta, breads, cookies, donuts. He's always looking at food on the internet. And whenever we leave the house, he's always pointing in the direction of where there's food. And if we pass by a store or a restaurant, he's pushing or pulling me in that direction. Now there's a condition where kids, they can't help it. Is it Prader-Willi? Anybody knows Prader-Willi? Where kids are obsessed with food. Do you know, Mr. Charles?
Yeah,
I've
that's what
never
it's
heard of it.
called.
Okay.
And you have
Yeah,
to lock up food because they will continue. They will keep eating.
keep eating, right. They don't, their brain is not recognizing that they're full.
They don't have that filling in.
Right. Is that something, Chris, or he's just obsessed with food?
It sounds almost like what y'all are describing, though. It sounds like it is that syndrome y'all are describing, because the nature of the obsession, where he constantly wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's different kinds of obsessions. An obsession where you want to talk about something all the time, and then there's an obsession where you want to do something about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I also heard of another thing that when people have special needs, sometimes they have a thing where it's not actually that syndrome, but they actually feel their awareness of being full is not as keen as ours is. So then they tend to think about food more and eat more, but it's not as serious as that syndrome.
Okay.
That syndrome, I have I know a person,
Thank
her
you.
daughter, she lost her daughter to it. Her daughter was 20, and her
Okay,
daughter
that's
passed away at maybe over 500 pounds. But it's literally like a physical thing. You have to lock up food because it will become, it's life threatening because they will just continue to eat. But again, like with Down syndrome, autism, sometimes they're not aware of being full as we
I
are.
guess that's like in the case of DeAndre. Not exactly, but with the medication. He could
Yeah.
just finish eating, but after his medication, it's like he just has to have something. He's got to eat. It's something going on up here.
A side effect of the medication.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he asks right here, he says, does medication make it worse? And I guess it would depend on the type of medication. And then not only the medication, if it states it as a side effect, because even if it doesn't state it as a side effect, it could be a side effect for him on that
Right.
medication. So it
Right.
doesn't have to be a common side effect, but it might be something that his medication is causing him to feel.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Chris, in my son's case, he takes medication for sleep. So once I give him that medication, it's like a few minutes after. I guess once he starts feeling the effect of the medication, he has a need to eat. He wants food. So and you can't stop him. I mean, I'm not even gonna try. Give him a sandwich or something and just let him go, you know. So yeah, it could be. It depends on what he's taking, and you really need to talk to the doctor about that if it's an all day thing, you know.
Yeah. Again, most generally the side effects of medication. They're they're things that some people suffer. Usually it's not common but it's common enough they have to mention it, but not common enough that because if it were a very common thing, that medication has to be taken off the market. You
Right.
can't have a medication on the market that causes problems for the majority of people who take it.
Right. But like Linda said, if it is medication in his case, it might just be a symptom or what am I looking for?
A
Not
side effect for him.
side effect. Side
Yeah.
effect for just that individual. Yeah.
And the disorder or the syndrome is called Prader-Willi
Prater.
syndrome.
Okay.
And
Let me
I'm
close up my
typing it.
thing.
He asked for what it was. So I'm typing it in there now. Let's see. I'm on my phone, so it's a different setup to post it. But it's Prader. Did it go
Prater.
through? Yeah, Prader Willi Willi syndrome.
Prader-Willi.
Oh yeah, there it goes right there. Yeah. And then there is medications that I know. There's 2 approved medications that are labeled for autism, and
Uh-huh.
one of them does cause weight gain and larger appetite. So, but it's one of the ones, and they do tell you ahead of time, but it is one of the medications for autism that will cause that.
Okay. Trust.
Yeah. Usually, what you hear about, with autistic kids with food is having, very limited food tastes. And here, on the other hand, someone who just wants to eat.
Right. Hey, Candy, how are you? Candy says, my son has issues transitioning from room to room. Okay. He hates having to leave grandma to go home. Oh.
Yeah.
Dinah says, my biggest issue with transitioning is from a preferred activity like playing games or from outside to inside. Yeah. Yeah, from outside, that can be hard. I have to kind of bribe DeAndre to come inside. Oh, let's go in. I got something for you or something. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, hello, everyone. Tomorrow will be Jonathan's first day of high school. So nervous, but we are hoping for the best. It'll be all right. He'll do great. It'll be a great school year for him. Yes.
I think the important thing is if you've prepared him ahead of time, told him what he can expect that will be different from his school experience up to now, like moving from class to class and having a homeroom, those things. I know, that there's a little getting used to still, even though it had been explained to me, a little getting used to the short amount of time I had to get from one class to the next. Also, for me, when I entered junior high, they had a little schedule mix up with me because I was in Algebra 2. But they had me in both Algebra 2 and 7th grade math, and they had the schedule all mixed up. They had me in a study hall one day when I was supposed to be in Algebra 2. Anyway, they got that all straightened out. So it took me off of 7th grade math because I was 4 years ahead of my classmates in math. So,
My son just thinks grandma house equals all snacks. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Snacks are always on board. Chris says, yes, I have to lock up. Well, Chris, what? Have you spoken with the doctor about that? And what is the doctor saying? Now, I've always said I need to lock up food because DeAndre and these nightly, yes. On her way. Okay, get all your stuff together. Grandkids will be leaving in a minute. So yeah, I've been saying I need to get a lockbox for late nights, like when he gets in those urges. But I'm just curious as if he has this obsession, and we mentioned, what is it again, Prader-Willi
Prader-Willi
syndrome. What is the doctor saying? Has he mentioned that to you?
Yeah, or can you mention that to him and see how he reacts to it?
Right.
Because not all doctors may have heard of that.
How does he react when you steer him away from food? I know.
Say that one more time.
How does he react when you stray him away from food?
Oh.
Like I know with the syndrome, they tend to have meltdowns because they really truly feel hungry. So it's very difficult. And what's his age?
I think he said 13.
13. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Tanya asks, is he on meds? I know for my son, when we put him on risperidone, he had a lot of weight gain because he would eat compulsively. Who told you to take my orange? Put my orange back.
I think that is the medication that I was talking about. One of the two
Risperidone?
medications. Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah.
He does both, talking about it and wanting to do it all the time. Does medication make it worse? Okay.
Depends on the medication.
Okay. Is your mommy out there now? Oh, kill me.
It depends on the medication. There might even be a medication that is used to treat Prader-Willi syndrome. For all I know.
Linda, did the article say what type of medicine is used to treat it?
From what I've known, and up to I guess months ago, there was no treatment for it. It's just something that, because it still amazed me that they couldn't think of something that would make them feel full. But so if their stomach is literally physically full, they don't feel that. So, it's something difficult, I guess, to try to get them to feel that because they just don't have that sensor, that feeling.
Here, Kiyomi, open this orange for him, please. Not this one. This one doesn't look too good. Let your sister, she's gonna open it for you. Peel it for you, rather. Hi, Shell. Shell says my son is 9 and constantly wants to eat all the time. Also, just started the bouncing on stuff. Okay. Yeah, my son does the bouncing, the jumping, and oh my God, and the destroying everything.
That's the hard thing, like Dinah said, that as they get bigger,
Yes,
they tend to do that,
yes, as they
and
get
things
bigger,
get worn out, but their mentality does not get older. So they're
right.
still doing what they do when they're younger, but they're adult size. So yeah,
And
when
they
they
don't
wear new
realize
things.
their
Hmm.
strength. They don't realize,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
I was really upset with, because I redid his whole bedroom last year, and he didn't have that bed 3 months. All I remember is I heard a kaboom. I jumped up, ran in his room, and the football board was,
Oh
lopsided,
wow.
and we couldn't fix it. Well, luckily I had the insurance on it. I was like, oh Lord.
Oh my goodness.
The TVs, the sofas, the chairs, my coffee table. Oh my goodness. Um. Oh, she answered that. Okay. Candy says my son always saying he hungry after he just ate 10 minutes ago, but my rule is 3 meals and 2 snacks, no more. 8 a.m. trying to train him. Okay. Yeah, and I think with what is it again? Prater
Mhm.
Willie. I think even if you have a 3 meal rule, you still have to lock up stuff
Yeah.
because yeah, those rules won't matter to them.
Yeah, it's not about routine. It's not about training. They are the type of kids, or they will get into food that's in classes, that's in wherever they can get to it, they'll get to it because that's how hungry they feel. So they'll be in other kids' lunches. They will get into your cabinets, your refrigerators. They will. It's not about training them. It's about you literally have to keep them from the other food, from the food.
Yeah, they're trying to satisfy that hunger
Yeah.
need.
And Abilify is one of the other ones that's for autism as well. Um,
You
Clonidine
going
and
in and out.
Clonidine and hydroxyzine
Okay.
were two medications that Chris mentions right here. And Clonidine is what DeAndre used to be on, right? Or is
No,
he
he's
on it
still
now?
on it. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
and
still on
that's
it.
the one that I said that when I was on it, I know it made me feel hungry. But
Okay.
one
So
one thing to
that
remember
must be
is
the culprit right
Yeah,
there.
he does
yeah,
mention clonidine.
and one thing that to think of is that even if it's not written in the side effects, remember that it's often that when you give somebody a medication that has autism or ADHD, the side effects could be very different. Like Benadryl will wake me up, caffeine will make me sleepy. So it can have different effects on different people, and that's common. That's not so. If the common side effect is drowsiness, you can't say, oh, it doesn't wake you up, it makes you drowsy. No, it can be different from different people.
Yeah. And Chris, I would definitely talk to the doctor, about it and see what he says. I mean, especially I'm thinking, especially if he has an obsession with that, and see which medication may be the culprit. Is that combination doing that to him, or so definitely bring that up on your next visit.
Yeah, that's quite a list of medications there. In fact, I have to say, I mean, the thing, when I was growing up, a lot of these medicines that are now used to treat, autism or learning disabilities, whatever, didn't exist, hadn't been invented yet. Um, And I mean, the medicines can do good, but they can also have some very
Yeah.
undesirable side effects. And
Right.
sometimes medicine that's prescribed with good intentions may do more harm than good.
Yeah. Yeah. But for the most part, I think I've been lucky as far as so far now. But before I had the issues and we had to go through a couple medications and we finally, I was hoping, found the right combination, except for this hunger. That's the only side effect that, um, worries me. But other than that, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Keep him calm when he needs to be, and puts him to bed. Sometimes that doesn't work, but gets him to bed. But yeah, definitely check with the doctor and see what the medication.
And of
Um,
course, with everybody's autism being different and
right,
having different needs and different situations, some, like I know, I think all of us would prefer for them not to be medicated, but we have to make a
right.
decision. And at some point, we make that decision that we feel like maybe it might give them more quality of life.
Okay, mainly for anxiety. Candy said, my mom told me to give mine a fruit like an orange when they get home. Okay.
Yeah, if that satisfies them, that's good. Find
Yeah.
find stuff that's healthy. If that will satisfy them, fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables. If that will satisfy them, that's much better than eating, McDonald's double cheeseburgers.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed
Uh,
on the
Shell says, my son isn't on medication, but constantly wants to eat. Okay.
I
He's
noticed
just an eater.
a list of foods where lots of carbs.
I can't hear you, Linda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Okay.
On Chris's post,
Oh,
that's it.
hold on, you guys.
Okay. I could see on Chris's post
What's
that a lot of
wrong?
the
Come
foods
here,
were
DeAndre.
carbs, and carbs. Of course, people will crave the more carbs that they eat. But again, with
I can't
autism,
hear
we don't
much
get
of
to
what
pick
you're
and
saying,
choose
though,
what our
because you're
kids eat.
drowned out by the car. Okay, go ahead. You can say that again, Linda,
Yeah,
because
me might
I
go.
think what
Yeah,
you're saying was drowned out by the crying.
me might go get. Yeah, me might go get him. Go get your shoes. Yeah. Go get your shoes. Get his shoes, Kim.
You were saying something about carbs,
Okay.
Linda.
Hold on one second.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Where were we? Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I was talking about the list of foods. A lot of the foods were carbs. They're comfort foods, um,
Mm-hmm.
and those foods make you crave them even more. But like I said, we don't get to pick and choose what our kids eat, especially when on the spectrum, we don't really get to choose that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, if we could, of course, yeah, we would choose different things. But yeah, I think the best thing is probably uh, seeing the doctor and getting a better feel on what is going on, making
Yeah.
sure that it's not a physical reason.
Let myself.
Yeah.
That's your nature.
Um.
Is with that long list of medications, 5 medications, that's a lot for a youngster to be taking, a youngster to be on regularly. And,
Yeah.
I strongly suspect at least one of those medications is causing a problem here, doing more harm than good.
Yes, too. I guess we can't really assess that without knowing the full situation. We do know that
Right.
they're all prescriptions and they were prescribed, and Chris would know best as far as what's going on with that. But definitely looking into the medication, I think could be the culprit of looking for the side effect. But to say that the side effect is less or more concerning than what the medication is controlling. Only Chris and the doctor, I guess, could know that.
Yeah, and that's
So,
why
we don't want to judge,
that's why I didn't say
anybody's decisions.
I didn't say it is necessarily doing more harm than good. I said it could be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why we want to, she or Chris, he or she, of course, should take that into consideration. It could be one of the medications.
And even what I said about the healthier food choices, it's if possible, we can steer the child into healthier food choices. Obviously, the child is determined to eat Wendy's triple bacon cheeseburgers. What are you going to do? But
what are you
can
gonna
steer
do?
the child
Because
into
you just
something.
don't have a choice. Dinah says, Nathaniel, he made it back from Mexico by himself, all by himself. All right. I can imagine you were a nervous wreck.
Very
I
good.
can imagine.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. Danielle. We just came back. DeAndre. We just came.
Okay, let me see if I can take that over. We just came back from vacation. Daniel enjoyed the water so much, we actually threw away pizza.
What? Wow. Wow. Well, I'm glad he enjoyed his vacation. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Oh, about the grandkids leaving. You laughing too. Yes, I've spoken with the medication provider, but I've scheduled an appointment with a specialist to see what they recommend. Okay, yeah. Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't mentioned this, but I'm meeting with a specialist. He will lash out at times if you stir him away from food. Wow. He's on, we read that one. Okay, he gained 60 pounds in a year.
Wow.
Daniel was on Abilify briefly. I hated it. Also, there was a lawsuit because adults were gambling. Really? Wow. That's some crazy medication. Wow, gambling.
That's like some of the medications that say that they can cause suicidal ideation.
Oh yeah.
But that's because so when you have a side effect listed, normally what they do is any side effect that's ever happened they list if it's been reported. But the thing is that because it's listed doesn't mean it's a common side effect or that it's going to happen to everyone. Because if suicidal ideation happened to everybody, it wouldn't be a medication that would be out there on the market. But yeah, so of course, yeah, if they list it, we went through this with the psychiatrist, and we got to use the lowest grade medication, so we didn't have to get to that level. But it is something that, yeah, we would have to weigh the benefits over the risk, in at that point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Also, he shows the same type of obsession with iPads and certain apps on iPads, and with the same actions. He'll tear my house up looking for an iPad that's not here. I have to say, sometimes that's most of our kids. iPads, those electronics.
I'm glad that when I was growing up, the only kind of tablets there were consisted of sheets of paper attached to a cardboard backing.
That you can just tear off, huh?
Well, and they were for writing.
Yeah. Abilify. Yeah, I got you, Danielle. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Hi, Kelly.
Teresa. Hey, Teresa, how are you? The medication made my granddaughter more angry and aggressive. What kind of medication was she on, Teresa?
My mom's here.
Okay, you got everything. Let them out the door. Linda, can you take over?
Yep.
Give it back.
Yeah.
I don't see where that comment is. But
Yeah.
she said the medication made her granddaughter more angry and aggressive. And then Nita asked what kind of medication. And then we're going to take him to a different provider because he's on a lot of medication, but he's still hyperactive, obsessive, and compulsive, lacks compulsion control, has a lot of anxiety, etc., especially as he grows up and gets older. And that was a hard time too. I don't know how. Oh, I think you said he was 13, right? Puberty and going through those years was the most difficult with Emily. That's when we had to start considering medication. And it was from impulsivity, kind of like compulsion, yeah, obsession. Everything had to be the same, lots of anxiety. And we went with a medicine like clonidine, but it's guanfacine, and it's called 10X by name brand. But that it starts to work within 15 minutes. It's short acting. That happened to work for her, and we didn't move up to a higher type of medication. But yeah, those are the same things we were dealing with, and it seems like we got really used to the medication where we know when she needs it. And as the years went on, it seems like she's stabilized with everything. But puberty was a difficult time with that.
Yeah. And my concern here is the list of 5 different medications. There, the more different medications you have, the more opportunity there is for interaction between the medications. And of course, that's another point is what happens when the medication wears off.
Wait.
And some of these medications are longer acting where you may have to be on it a few weeks for it to kick in and start benefiting. So some of them are long acting, and you won't see a wear off if you continue taking it as prescribed. Another thing is too that to not have overlapping medications. I just read over that really quick. Yeah, and it looks like the clonidine and the hydroxyzine and the buspirone could all be used for anxiety, but I guess it just depends on what he's being prescribed it for, because it could also be used for sleep, hydroxyzine. So yeah, that's, I guess the biggest thing is to find a medication that can treat multiple things. Like hydroxyzine can work for sleep and anxiety. But yeah, different doctors have different views in different ways, and definitely you're not comfortable, look into it and see what other doctors consider.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Danielle says she hated Abilify. Yeah, and yeah, it's there's just certain things that don't it's hit and miss, some, and I'm pretty sure Abilify is one of the ones that's approved for autism, but it's not going to work for everybody. Like Nita said in the beginning, one person with autism, you met one person with autism. No two cases alike. And did she say what medication, Teresa?
Wait 1 second.
She's talking about Ritalin.
Is it Ritalin?
Let me see. So you asked she. I just see where she says, is there something better than Ritalin because that causes anger issues and the side effects is heart issues? Yeah, right there, that one sounds like a case where Ritalin causing anger, he's having an adverse reaction to the medication. It doesn't mean every medication in the Ritalin class, meaning like a stimulant, will cause him to act like that. But the heart issue is, of course, with stimulants is always an issue. But definitely, if that's what's happening with Ritalin, definitely talk to the doctor. because yeah, Ritalin, because it is a stimulant, yeah, it definitely cause anger issues, but it doesn't always do that. More times than not, it's not going to do that. But definitely talk to the doctor about that. That's a adverse reaction.
Thing is, when a specific medication is causing side effects, you want to go back to the doctor because maybe there might be a similar medication that might not have those effects. I know I know for me, just of course this wasn't autism related, but still, it's really just general fact about medicine that the my primary care doctor I had at the time prescribed a statin for me. I forget which statin he prescribed, but and he checked my cholesterol. Next time he found it wasn't doing anything for my cholesterol, so he changed me to a different statin, which I've been on ever since, and it works fine. And so, that's the thing. You can find sometimes for one individual, one medication either may not be effective or may have side effects, but some similar medication, something in the same class of medications, may work like a charm for that person.
This is where Nita had a similar situation with DeAndre, where Ritalin was an issue, but Adderall wasn't.
Right.
So it, yeah, same class of medication, they affected him differently. So there's an example there. Another thing is the stimulant Ritalin. So the side effect, of course, is heart issues with any stimulant, including
Yeah.
Adderall. But so another class of medications that they use is the blood pressure medications, clonidine and guanfacine. So they're used for ADHD, hyperactivity, compulsive behaviors, and impulsive behaviors. But it's not a stimulant, so that would be another thing. But it just depends on what they're trying to treat, what level it is. But that's a category of medications that does not come with those types of heart issues as a stimulant. And then I gotta see this one right here. So Danielle says, definitely each individual is different. My son was memorizing card numbers and ordering Xbox and Apple products. Yeah, and
Wow.
then this one right here, Chris says, Danielle Dallo, yes, he ordered over $2,300 worth of food from Instacart. He's super smart,
Wow.
slick, sly, and manipulative when it comes to electronics, numbers, etc.
$2,300.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
Ooh,
And then so Daniel says, I agree with Linda. Puberty was, yeah, definitely a difficult time. Yeah,
definitely.
it's back and forth, and it seemed like nothing would stable out during those years.
Yeah, we're gonna take him to a different provider. He's still hyperactive, obsessive, and compulsive, lacks compulsion control, has a lot of anxiety, especially as he grows up and gets older. Yeah. My son, medication Focalin causes my son not to want to eat, but when it wears off, he wants everything. Okay. Now, see, I had DeAndre started off with Focalin. That was one of the first medications for the ADHD, and that's a stimulant. I didn't like, even on the low dose with the Focalin, and I've heard from others that Focalin worked really good for their kids. But with DeAndre, he wasn't himself. Like now I can give him his medication. He's still, somewhat DeAndre and, up and about. But with the Focalin, he was just spaced out, just totally spaced out. So I had to take him off of that. And even the teacher would say when he come into class, because he would have his dose of Focalin in the morning, when he would come to class, he would just sit there like he couldn't move. So that was a no-go for us. But I've heard from others that Focalin was, a lifesaver for them. It's strange how medications affect differently, in our loved ones. And we know the Ritalin, that just did that was the erection thing. I had to get him off. That was terrible. But you see here, he's been doing really good now. The Adderall works perfectly, during the day, till it wears off. Because once it wears off, but yeah, it does really well. But that really, oh my goodness. I really appreciate all of your feedback. Thank you so very much. You are welcome. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
7 medications. Wow.
Mhm. My son will have a fit if he can't play his video game or phone or my iPad. Yeah. Something
Yeah.
about those electronics in our babies. Is there something natural that works? Yeah, they have a lot of natural remedies that you can try. The vitamins and
Supplements.
herbal treatments. Just be careful.
Yep.
Just be careful. Don't fall for the okey doke or the snake oil.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, but there are vitamins and probiotics that can help with certain symptoms. Just do your research.
Yeah,
Um,
because that the health food industry is the Wild West.
mhm.
There are good products there, but uh, there's also a lot of snake oil.
Yeah, the best thing that I've seen to do is to, when you look up a product, the product is usually, if it's natural, look up the chemical or the compound, what the supplement is, then look up studies on it and see studies regarding autism regarding that supplement or that vitamin. And that's the best way to do it, because the name brands are gonna, they're gonna sell it for a higher price, and they're gonna, of course, say it does this, say it does that, whatever. Just look up the whatever the supplement vitamin is, and look up the studies regarding autism or the probiotic, whatever it is. Studies will you'll be able to find studies on it.
Definitely. Yeah, he wants me to introduce him in a minute. Yeah, standing at his post.
I heard him too. What did he say?
Mummy, he wants me to come to
That's
the
so cute.
podium. Coming back next to. Oh, okay. Coming back next Tuesday. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I know you're a nervous wreck, Dinah. Say, yeah, DeAndre is something else, honey. This the first day just gave him his medication when I went to the door. So we're gonna try to time this because he'll have to be up at 6 in the morning because his bus will be.
What's that?
He's stimming. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. He
Ralph
makes
loves
that noise.
so Ralph loves Doritos. Well, that was something I used to tease my daughter with, was because she found out that her great aunt Dorothy, my aunt Dorothy, went by nickname of Dory, so she started going by Dory. And anyway, some kids in school started making fun of her. She made the mistake of telling me that they started singing the Doritos jingle, Doritos, and so I started teasing her with that and calling her Dorito.
Well, no, you're not lame. We all give in at some point in time. Hi, Megan. My daughter is on clonidine. I also do clean eating. Okay.
Hi, Megan.
I don't know what this happened here. Oh, it says
He's on
inactivities.
it now, huh?
Uh-huh.
I can hear the
He's
echo.
not gonna be satisfied until I go up there and introduce him. You hear the microphone?
Yeah, I heard it.
And I took the batteries. I took the batteries out of there. Okay. And he went and found some more.
Oh, did he?
He went and
Well,
found.
Nita. Hey, Nita.
Yeah.
Before you get off, you should introduce him. Your
Okay.
face.
I'm going to go introduce them.
Okay,
One
we're
second.
listening.
Here I come. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come to the stage, Mr. DeAndre Dawson.
Thank you so much. Come on.
No. I'm gonna have to do it about 2 more times before the night's up. Chris says I don't keep any of the foods he craves in the house, but he'll try to sneak out of the house to get them. Every now and then I'll treat him to the foods he wants, but not often. I give him a lot of fruits and he eats greens, mainly spinach. Well, that's good. That's good. The good thing is that he'll only drink water. Yep, that's real good.
All that is good. Yeah, all that is good.
What is this? I don't know what that is. Foods. Okay. Okay. You okay? You okay?
I think the better answer is ask your doctor about it and explain to your the doctor that prescribed the Ritalin, hey, this is causing problems. What else can you prescribe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, what works for one may not work for another. So definitely each individual is different. My son was, we said that the Xbox and the Apple products. And I still
we've lost into.
Thank you, because I'm definitely not comfortable with the medication. Yeah, definitely talk to his doctor. Nobody. He just be down. He runs in the basement and barks and then comes back up. Then he'll go back down and have another session and come back up.
Well, when you think he's barking, what he's actually doing is reciting canine poetry, otherwise known as doggerel.
Okay. Sleepwalking on class. Okay. Sleepwalking. Oh, wow. That's another symptom. Wow. How do y'all keep kids in school when meds don't work? Because schools here will send them home. We decide to homeschool. Well, that's when you have to have a behavior plan in place. If you have a behavior plan, and you should be able to work with school, and they should have tools in place like sensory room, yes, or someone who specializes in handling situations that if it becomes too bad, then I don't know, you may have to put them in another school district that has that will work with you. It just depends on the behaviors too, I would think. I know at DeAndre's school, the school he just left, Central, they had a sensory room. So if the anxiety got too much or behaviors were starting to go, they would send them to the sensory room for, quiet time. Not all schools have sensory rooms. Can you give me a minute? But I would definitely have a behavioral plan in place if that's something you are concerned about. But homeschooling is not a bad idea either.
Yeah, Victoria Chenoweth has a homeschooling group here.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Candy says, yeah, they want to put my son on Ritalin. Okay.
20 milligrams, yeah. Well, again, I would say try it and see how it works, because it might work like a charm for your son. You don't know. You have to just try it and see. And if causes problems that are worse than what it was trying to cure, then
okay, I tried time iPad, found that he loves storybots, number blocks, and going to the sensory park. Okay, gotta love him. That's for sure. Okay, everybody, we have a few. Oh, actually, we're overtime, and DeAndre is not gonna leave me alone until I get back and do his introductions. David is doing better at school since last Wednesday.
very
Awesome,
good.
awesome. Hey, you all. Talk to you soon. Okay, Pammy. Okay, so we are at the end. We are overtime tonight. Okay, DeAndre, I'll be there. I'm gonna put the link in if anybody wants to come up with any last words before we end it for tonight. Feel free. You are more than welcome. If you got some motivation, some inspiration, if you have an organization or a business you want to share, please feel free to come on up. If not, we will definitely see you all next Sunday, same time, same place. And Chris says the issue that I'm also having is that I think the staff at his school will cave in and fold, give him foods whenever he overwhelms them with obsessing about it. He definitely has strong willpower and is very persistent. He'll definitely wear you down and make you break to his warnings. That's where you need to get that medical thing and put in, your notes that for the school to not go against your wishes. So you definitely need to have that something, talk to the doctor about and see what could possibly be going on with your son. I have to say North was good with Daniel. I almost purchased this teacher a retirement condo.
So,
They did not call me to pick him up once he went back in person. Okay. You're welcome. Have a great weekend, everyone. Find some time to spoil yourself this week. Most definitely. Most definitely. Any last words for the night, Mr. Charles? I don't know what happened to Linda. She must got disconnected.
we lost her. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. We lost her at some point there in the closing minutes. But yeah, everybody have a great week. We'll be back next week anyway, and take care of yourself. And again with medications, try them. Give it a try. If the doctor thinks the medication is good for your child, give it a try. But if you see it causing problems, by all means, get back to the doctor. Let them know, hey, this is causing an issue here. Can you prescribe something different? There might be a different medication in the same family that won't cause the problem.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Sometimes it takes a little trial and error to find what works for your child. But Chris, definitely speak to that doctor and see what's going on with your baby. All right, everybody. You guys have a great, awesome week. DeAndre's first day. Of course, I'm gonna have first day videos. So he is gonna bug me to death. He's gonna bug me to death. But see you guys next week, same time, same place. Have an awesome rest of the evening, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.